Today's video is a little bit different than normal. I know this channel is all about educating you on retirement and tax plan and all that, but part of one of our passions here at Parallel Wealth is helping organizations that help others. And today we've partnered with Ally Global. Now, Ally Global does an annual fundraiser called Move for Freedom. Now, let me tell you a bit about Ally Global, and we'll bring in Randy Watson, who's the director of Ally Global. So Ally helps survivors of human trafficking. And so these are, kids, boys and girls that are in a bad position that, fall prey to human trafficking or put into human trafficking. And we all think human trafficking happens not here in Canada, not here in the US. It happens abroad. Well, we're wrong. It happens here as well, right in our backyard. And Randy will share a story about that. Something that happened actually quite locally to us here in BC. And Ally Global's mission is to help these people, but also help them restore, help them get better. And so they're doing a fundraiser on July 8th, 2023 called Move for Freedom. And Parallel Wealth has a team. And what that means is myself, my wife, and my 4 kids are going to be moving for freedom. And the whole purpose of Move for Freedom is to bring awareness to sex trafficking. And not only are we looking to raise money, but is to bring that awareness to it. So I want all of you as viewers, I don't ask you for much, I try and provide value. And I'm asking you to get involved in one of 3 ways. You can join our team, which means that on July 8th, all you have to do is move in any way you want. It might be a walk, a run, go biking, go paddleboarding, do whatever is passionate for you. So that's option number 1. Option 2 is to start your own team. And we'll put a link and details to all of this below. The third option is to help our team financially. We're looking to raise money, and Parallel Wealth is going to match the first $10,000 that we can raise. So our goal is to raise $20,000 as a team, hopefully $10,000 from our viewers, and we'll match it at $10,000. So again, I don't ask for much. If you want to, return a favor for all the advice, that kind of stuff, if you've gotten value from this channel, or if you just want to help a really great cause that we're passionate about here at Parallel Wealth, I encourage you to donate, to help, to get involved. All the information is below, but I want to welcome Randy Watson to the channel. He's going to talk a bit more about Ally, about sex trafficking, about the Move for Freedom, how to get involved, and how to make a difference. All of us need to make a difference in this world as much as we can. And any donation that is put towards this cause will get a donation receipt. I've talked about it on this channel. It's kind of a side benefit. You're helping a great cause, a great charity, but you also get a donation receipt, which gives you a great tax credit as well. So let's welcome Randy Watson to the channel.
So Randy, thanks so much for joining us today. It's a truly honor to be part of this and be part of the Move for Freedom, which we're going to talk more about today. But why don't you tell us a bit more about Ally, what you guys do, the work that you're doing, the impact you have?
Yeah, thanks so much, Adam. It's awesome to have you and the Parallel Wealth team involved. Yeah, Ally works to prevent human trafficking and provide restoration for survivors. And so we do that in South Asia and Southeast Asia through providing aftercare centers where we have hundreds of kids that have been rescued out of sex trafficking and are placed into our long-term care homes where we have wraparound services for them. So they're given safe home, safe environment, all of the different resources and staffing needs to help them heal through their trauma at their own pace. We also have schooling and education so that we see each kid come into care and go all the way through to vocation. That's our commitment to each of the children that we receive. So that's kind of the work overseas. We do a bunch of prevention work internationally as well. Here in Canada, we focus on prevention and education. And so a lot of Canadians think if they're aware of trafficking, of human trafficking, they think that, oh, that's like an issue that happens somewhere else.
Not here.
Not here, yeah. And that's not true. It's happening in communities across our country, in the big municipal centers and in rural communities. And in Canada, the Indigenous population is really disproportionately represented. So that Indigenous population in Canada is about 4% of our population, and it makes up about 51% of trafficking cases in Canada.
Crazy.
We've seen a huge rise in online exploitation of children in Canada. From 2018 to 2022, they reported an increase of 815%.
Wow. So not like little, like we're massively
huge increase. Yeah. So, and part of the reason that we see this crime growing in Canada and other countries is because people don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it.
Hear about it in the news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we're focusing on in Canada is one, how do we increase the general public's understanding and knowledge of it? How do we communicate in a way that isn't sensational so that people can approach it even though it may be uncomfortable to talk about?
Yeah.
And then how do we get kids access to information that's going to prevent them from being targeted so that they know how to talk to their parents or to a safe adult about whatever risks they may come across?
I mean, I have 4 kids.
Yeah.
None, I mean, they're quite young, but they would know nothing about this. Right. So it's like the education around that. Like they would have sex trafficking, that's not even like in their language.
Yeah.
So I know there's a time and a place to do that. But
Yeah.
just education, no matter where you live, is obviously very important.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think a lot of parents don't necessarily know how to have that conversation or at what age should I have that conversation. And the reality is in Canada, it's not that different than internationally. Like we're seeing boys, the average age for initial target is between ages 8 and 10. And for girls, it's between the ages of 10 and 14. And so, of course, with increase in technology and people having kids having devices, if you have a device, essentially you could have another person there that you don't know.
It's a target.
It's a target. Yeah. So just to really bring it home, like we dealt with a case just a few weeks ago that was here in BC, and it was a 14-year-old girl, came from middle-class family, both parents involved, really good home, and she was groomed through really sophisticated criminal network and ended up being trafficked here in the Lower Mainland.
Crazy.
It's hard to really like wrap your head around that could be happening in your community.
Yeah.
And one of our targets here in Canada is to really just increase the understanding of what does that look like. We talked a little bit earlier about a short film we had created about this issue in Nepal where we work. And the film is called The 12,000. And it's the retelling of the story of one of our girls that came through care. It's 25 minutes. It's not graphic, but it really shows the process of how this happens. And to be really honest, the process that's dictated in that film in Nepal doesn't look too different than how things often happen here.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah. Great film. We'll put the link below in this video. Make sure you check it. Like, spend 25 minutes to watch this video. Watch it again the other day. Like, it's powerful. Like, it's crazy that this stuff happens. And again, it's not just overseas where we think it's like, yeah, it's a problem over there. Let's, it's kind of, it's here. It's on the ground. It's in our communities. So that's why we want to get involved with you guys, because you guys are, boots on the ground, getting involved, making a difference, helping to educate, rescue these girls, and not just rescue them, but then have a platform and a home for them, essentially, where they can actually get restored. And there's a start to finish process that you guys have created. So, and that kind of ties into Move for Freedom. So tell us a bit about Move for Freedom, what that is, when it started, and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so Move for Freedom is like a run, walk, bike type of event. We get people all the time asking how they can get involved, and often people want to like volunteer, but of course when we're working with highly traumatized populations, it's not easy to just have anybody come in and volunteer in our facilities. So one of the things we created was just an opportunity to do something with a group of friends, with your community, with colleagues, with family. Go do an activity that you already love doing. Maybe it's tennis, swimming, running, whatever it is. And just ask people to contribute towards what you're doing. And all that money that gets raised goes to support the children that are in care. It goes to support increasing prevention work. And this fundraising event that happens, it's so pivotal in actually moving the needle in our work. And I think it's easy to be like, I don't know if I want to do that or if it'll actually make a difference. Honestly, like every dollar that's raised goes to affecting positive change in the life of these kids.
Like, you guys aren't an organization with big overhead, and you read the news like, if I donate $1 here, 50% of it's gone to administration. Like, this isn't you guys. So when you donate $1, it's being put to work.
Yeah,
and that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and if you're donating, there's obviously tax incentives to be able to give towards a cause like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get involved in 3 different ways. We'll put the link below, but we're raising funds. So we want to raise $10,000 through our viewers, and we're going to match it at Parallel Wealth with $10,000. So our goal is to raise $20,000 as part of our team. If you're not able to donate money, you can donate your time. You can either join our team, and again, we'll put the link in information below on that, or you can start your own team.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll make sure we put the link for the Move for Freedom, how to set up a team and do all that. Very easy to do. But there's different ways. Everyone can get involved at a different level, however you want or can afford or whatever it is. So it's open to everyone.
Yeah, it's open to everyone. And I think another key thing to note is Move for Freedom for us is an event that happens across Canada. There's thousands of people that get involved. It's not just about fundraising. Of course, we need money to operate to care for kids, but it's about having this conversation. It increases awareness because as people are having all of these different fundraisers happening across the country, conversations are happening about, oh, what is trafficking? What does it look like?
Yeah.
How does that happen in our community? And so we have a lot of those different resources available on our website as well.
Perfect. So yeah, so we're going to be camping that day.
Awesome.
So we're going to be down in the States, but my family and I are going to do a big bike ride that day, probably some stand-up paddleboarding. So we're going to do a little bit of stuff, but the whole idea is just to move. It doesn't have to be, I know last year I had some friends that did golfing because, you know, what better way to spend 5 hours and then go golfing. But it's about awareness, it's about spreading the word and just having that conversation. So we'll be posting on day of the event. We'll be posting to social media, hashtagging it, all that fun stuff. Again, the idea here is to bring awareness. If you want to get involved or can get involved, I really encourage you to. And again, we'll link that information below. So Randy, any parting words?
Yeah, thanks for, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for believing in what we're doing. And huge thank you to you and your team for just getting behind this and supporting in this way. But if you have any questions after you check the links, our team is here to help. So please reach out.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.